If you're struggling with time, I have designed an NLP technique that might just be the cure that you're looking for. The struggle that I want to talk about can crop up even if your creative work is something that you're doing full time, or you're trying to find pockets of time to make headway with a creative project. So either way, you can still be struggling with time. So specifically, what's happening is there's an amount of time available to you, but you're not making use of it. So it might be that you're saying to yourself, it's not enough time. So you might think, well, I've got a couple of hours, but that's not enough. That's not enough for what I need. Or you're thinking to yourself, oh, I've got half an hour, like I'm not going to be able to get into it. It's not worth even starting. So when we're looking at that time and we're basically persuading ourselves out of it, we're not making use of it. So the first thing to do here, the first process that I want to share with you is to get aware, okay? So what is happening, what's playing out here is a habit of thought. The time is popping up, the time that's available, and you're habitually saying to yourself, it's not worth it, it's not enough. Because that's not changing, right? That script doesn't change. The half hour pops up or the 2 hours pop up and automatically that's what you think. So by getting aware, you're seeing that happen and you're saying, okay, it's happening. The time has become available and I'm automatically thinking this to myself and then I'm believing it. So that's the first level where we get self-aware. We notice the availability of time and we notice that habitual response. It's not worth it. It's not enough. I'm not going to be able to get far into it to make it worthwhile. So the second step is to get blunt, okay? So what happens is we kind of get into this non-specific place where we sense a pocket of time and then we tell ourselves it's not enough. So by getting blunt, what we then do is we say, there are 2 hours available to me. Like that's a great amount of time. But because of the habitual, we're seeing that as not enough and then we're undervaluing that time and then we're showing ourselves it's okay to waste. So when we get blunt, we say to ourselves, I've got half an hour available to me, or I've got 2 hours available to me, or I've got the morning available to me. What do I want to do with that time? And then we claim it. Firstly, we claim it because we've given it a value. And so it makes it harder to fritter it away, makes it harder to waste. And secondly, we claim it because we've grown our awareness and we've got blunt. So then we decide, I've got this time, what do I want to do? And that's when we start to think in a different way. We're no longer thinking, oh, there's no point, it's not worth it. We're like, oh, right, well, what do I have to do? And then suddenly we're focusing our mind thinking about all of the things that need to be done, okay? Then you might find yourself like, oh, well, I just don't really want to do any of that stuff. And here's where the honesty comes in. So it's not that it's not worth it or it isn't enough time. It's just you don't feel like doing it. And then you have to just get honest with yourself. But here is the third place that we can come into where we can even start to shift that. Maybe you've fallen out of love with your project. Maybe you've been working on a book and it's just beginning to feel a bit of a dud. So here's where we come back to play. And I want you to remember that creative part of you as a child at school, staring out of the window. Like how delicious was that in a lesson to just lose yourself to your thoughts, lose yourself to your imagination. How lovely was that? There was a maths class going on, but you were thinking wonderful things. You had gone to faraway lands and you were having a really pleasurable time. So when that half an hour is available, that child isn't like, oh, half an hour, I don't want to get lost in my imagination for half an hour. I really don't want to do it. So again, if you're resisting it, it's because your creative time has ceased to be playful. It's ceased to be nourishing. It's ceased to be that wonderful playground that you knew as a child. And so the step to take here is to get aware, Okay, I'm automatically reacting to pockets of time as if it's not worth it. Stop yourself, get blunt. I've got half an hour available to me. What do I want to do? And if you need to play, you then start to say, I've got half an hour available to me. How can I play? And that's when you start to recreate a relationship with your creativity that is about fun, that's about playfulness, that's about abandon. There's no rules, there's no maths class here. It's just staring out of the window and letting your feelings and your impulses take you where you want to go to. Now, maybe you're now thinking, yeah, but listen, I don't have time to play. I got to get this work done. But the fact is, if you're not making use of those pockets of time, that work is not getting done anyway. So start to make use of the pockets of time with playful creativity, playful writing, playful brainstorming. And then you're going to start getting into a new habit where you make the most of those pockets of time, where you give them the value that they truly deserve. And then the playfulness has come back in. And then in a few weeks' time, you're going to be saying to yourself, I've got half an hour, or I've got an hour available, or I've got 2 hours available. Oh, I can't wait to dive right back into my book and pick up where I left off. So there we go, really nice process based on NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which is the majority of the work that I do with creative professionals. It's a great way to start training the mind to really access that creativity at will, to have fun and achieve those creative projects that you're trying to achieve. Finish stuff, right? Like, how important is that finishing? So if this was the first video you've watched, it's great to meet you. Thanks for stopping by the channel. Maybe you want to subscribe and keep on this journey with me as I guide you into your creative potential, always trying to find ways to make the work easier, more playful, and always trying to find ways to elevate you into a place of success. There's a Facebook community as well, right? No matter what, there's a link below. Come find me there. Come say hello. I'll see you next week.